My sister Anya was a quiet, pure soul like a chrysanthemum. For the past 20 years, she lived by the principle of letting her family suffer rather than troubling outsiders. And that very principle almost destroyed me. It wasn't until I got into university and could support myself that I could finally escape her, completely breaking free. I never imagined she would now use our mother's name, claiming, "Mom misses you," to go on a missing persons show, searching for me, the sister she pushed into hell. What a joke! Has she forgotten that she herself drove Mom to her death long ago? When I saw that familiar, guilt-ridden face on the TV screen, I froze. Even if she turned to ash, I'd still recognize that face. She wore a long white dress, her hair braided to one side, answering the MC's questions about our family with a gentle, frail voice, feigning such pitifulness that the entire studio was filled with sympathy. The MC signaled staff to give her tissues, then asked, "Please calm down, Ms. Pham, and tell us a little about your younger sister." The woman dabbed the corners of her eyes, adjusted her best angle, and slightly tilted her head to look at the large screen behind her. The screen continuously replayed photos of me from before I was 12. Of course, because she only had photos of me before I was 12. I watched, a sneer playing on my lips. Good thing I was a bit chubby when I was little. Now I'm much thinner, my figure completely different. Otherwise, everyone would recognize me immediately. Anya Pham cleared her throat, clutching the tissue, her voice choked with emotion. "Hello MC, hello teachers, hello viewers. I'm Anya Pham, here today to find my younger sister, Meena Pham. Meena, if you're watching, please contact me. You've been out of touch with our family for 7 years. 7 years, and Mom and I have missed you so much, Meena. Please come home." As soon as she mentioned contact, the text on the screen displayed her contact information and phone number. According to her, to find me, she traveled across cities, working jobs that provided food and lodging to save money, so she had no fixed address. I glanced at the blocked numbers in my phone's contact list, confirmed that number was still there, then settled more comfortably on the sofa, intrigued, and continued to watch. After speaking for a while, she seemed unable to suppress her feelings of grievance, covering her face and sobbing uncontrollably. The MC was startled. Though he'd witnessed many heartbreaking stories, he'd never seen anyone act so convincingly. Anya Pham managed a temporary smile, composed herself, and continued. "My younger sister, Meena Pham, disappeared that year, right after her university entrance exams, just a few days before her 18th birthday. Frankly, it was my fault. She argued with me and then ran away in anger. She must be 25 now, probably successful in her career, or perhaps just an ordinary person. But no matter what, she's still my sister. Even if she's not doing well now, not a penny to her name, I would never abandon her. I want to find her, I want to find my family." According to her, I was just an impulsive child who ran away for 7 years because of an argument. The MC seemed a bit doubtful. "Your sister left when she was almost an adult. Is there a possibility that she simply doesn't want to come back? Ms. Pham, could you briefly introduce your family? Is it possible she chose a different path because her life wasn't happy?" Anya Pham, as if opening Pandora's box, immediately poured out a long narrative, a mix of truth and falsehood. She said our family was once very happy, Mom, Dad, and us 2 sisters. Though not wealthy, we lived joyfully until a sudden accident took Dad's life, leaving Mom and us 2 relying on each other. She also said she loved Mom and always gave me the best of everything. Whether it was meat or fish, I always got the biggest portion. In terms of food, clothing, and travel, they never mistreated me. No matter how much hardship they endured, they just gritted their teeth and bore it, while all I had to do was focus on my studies. She continued, "I was exceptionally admitted to a prestigious university due to my outstanding academic achievements. But due to our difficult family circumstances, we couldn't afford tuition and living expenses. Plus, Mom fell seriously ill and needed money for treatment. So, after careful consideration, I could only advise Meena to give up university and work with me as a laborer to earn money and help the family. I never imagined Meena wouldn't understand my hardships. Without a word, she had a huge argument with me, then ran away from home. And this journey lasted 7 years. Amidst the murmurs of blame and pity from the audience, her beautiful eyes, filled with emotion, gazed intently at the screen. The camera immediately zoomed in on her face. I heard her voice, "Meena, if you'll just come back, I won't blame you. Don't forget, Mom and I are always waiting for you at home. No matter where you go, the blood of the family still flows in your veins. You will always be a family member." Looking at her hypocritical face, I burst out laughing. "My dear sister, have you told so many stories that you've forgotten the truth? Our mother is still alive, isn't she? Didn't you drive her to her death long ago?" Anya was 5 years older than me. From childhood, she was always the well-behaved girl praised throughout our village. Everyone lauded her as non-confrontational, modest, and understanding, truly pure as a chrysanthemum, as they'd say now. When I was little, I didn't understand the meaning of that phrase, only knowing that when my sister was praised, I could feel a vicarious pride. What I didn't know was that in the eyes of the neighbors, I was nothing special compared to her. On the contrary, they'd look at my back and whisper, "See that? That's the second daughter of the family. She's the younger sister of the little saint. Her sister is so kind, she doesn't even have enough money for her own activities, not even for printing documents, yet she still buys food for Mr. Wang's boy. That chubby kid, his family eats better than the fam's. What a joke. Isn't Mr. Wang that crippled old man? Is that saintly girl crazy? Planning to marry into that family? Who knows, just watch the drama, don't spread rumors." It wasn't until I grew up that I realized. All Anya needed was a few words of praise, and she'd foolishly give away her belongings unconditionally. Who wouldn't want to take advantage of such a bargain? I'll never forget what happened when I was 6. I just started first grade. Mom and Dad wanted to reward me for my good midterm grades, so they bought me the teddy bear I'd longed for. I treated it like my child, sewing clothes for it daily, decorating it, and carrying it everywhere, from playing to sleeping. But the consequence of clinging to my bear was that someone else set their eyes on it. That day, Mom took Anya and me to the market to buy vegetables. The greengrocer's daughter saw my teddy bear and immediately ran over, grabbing its hand and shouting, "I want to play with this. Give it to me." I'd never encountered such unreasonable behavior. Instinctively, I pushed the girl's hand away and hid behind Anya. The other girl froze for a moment, then immediately wailed and ran back to her mother. Anya looked down at me. I whispered, "It's mine. She wants to take it from me." Anya frowned, shook her head, and said, "Mina, how many times have I told you? Possessions are just external things. If the little girl likes it, just let her have it. It's not like you're losing a piece of yourself." Hearing this, I immediately pulled away from her, shouting, "Then you give her your asterisk stuff." At my criticism, Anya looked a little flustered. "But she wants your asterisk stuff, not mine." We sisters argued fiercely, while Mom and the greengrocer tried to console their children. The other girl, after being scolded a few times by her mother, bowed her head and ran to a corner to play with a cat. The incident should have ended there. Mom even bought some extra vegetables and was preparing to leave. Everything could have been fine, but just when I was off guard, Anya suddenly snatched the bear from my hand and thrust it into the other girl's arms. "Don't cry anymore, my sister is giving this to you. Mina is so stingy, let's not bother with her." Saying this, she stood with hands on her hips, head held high, as if she'd just made a great decision. In that moment, I didn't even know who her real sister was. The other girl immediately stopped crying, repeatedly saying, "Thank you." I was stunned. She was my biological sister, so why was she siding with an outsider to bully me? Tears streamed down my face. I sat on the ground and cried loudly, "You're bullying me." But she didn't care. The greengrocer's wife, seeing this, snatched the bear from her daughter's hand and returned it to me, comforting me in a halting accent. "Don't cry, little one, I'm giving it back to you." I looked up at the white teddy bear. Its soft fur was now smeared with mud, even some yellow snot stuck to it. My pent-up emotions exploded. I burst into louder sobs. The people around, not understanding what was happening, found my crying annoying and began to criticize me and Mom. Anya kicked my leg. "Get up now, so embarrassing." Mom quickly stopped her, intending to hug me, but I pulled away from her embrace and ran straight home. Behind me, the praises for Anya still rang out, mixed with Mom's embarrassed, forced laughter. Back home, Anya deliberately took an ugly doll from her bed and gave it to me. "Why are you crying? This is mine, I'm giving it to you. Crying like that outside, do you know how embarrassing it is?" Then she seriously told Mom and Dad, "Mom, Dad, my teacher said that children must learn to share to experience true joy. What Mina did today was wrong. Don't you agree?" Mom and Dad exchanged glances, unsure how to answer, so they just hummed and told us to eat, trying to let the matter pass. I poked at my rice bowl, not wanting to eat anything. That was the first time I hated Anya. Though it was a small incident, to me, it was something I could never let go of. Fairly speaking, my parents weren't overtly biased, except when Anya and I argued, they often sided with her. Otherwise, they were quite fair, not discriminating because we were girls. After all, a child is a child. But Anya used Mom and Dad's tolerance as an excuse to become more and more outrageous. Her reputation as the little saint grew even stronger because of it. My school was a K-12 system. As long as your grades weren't too bad, you could go all the way from elementary to high school. When I was in elementary school, she was in middle school. To help a disabled neighbor's son, she took more than half of my lunch portion, which I'd waited a long time to buy, and gave it to him. The rest was just cold rice with vegetable soup for me. I had resisted, but arguing in the cafeteria was too embarrassing, so I could only grit my teeth and endure the hunger. My friends once wondered, "Why doesn't your sister give him her own lunch?" I shook my head, not knowing how to answer. I couldn't bear to tell them the truth. She was a hypocritical saint who helped others at my expense. To raise money for poor children in mountainous regions, she took all the lunch money I'd saved for a month and sent it to a charity fund under her own name. When I confronted her, she turned around and criticized me. "Why did you save so little?" Once during PE class, someone deliberately pushed me, breaking my leg. Before Mom and Dad could even arrive, she had already forgiven the perpetrator. The kid not only didn't have to pay for my medical expenses, but didn't even have to say a single word of apology because Anya had forgiven him on my behalf. I believe he didn't mean it. Such incidents happened again and again. The entire neighborhood knew her reputation as the little saint. Everyone praised this child, saying she was young but had a generous heart, truly commendable. And of course, any family that could raise such a child was respected by the whole village. And me, from childhood to adulthood, I was just a reference point, selfish, petty, and extreme. They only saw how well Anya treated them, but no one saw how poorly she treated her own family. My parents didn't think it was a bad thing. On the contrary, they feared affecting her spirit of helping others, so they almost always turned a blind eye. Because of this indulgence, she became more and more overbearing. The year I entered middle school, Anya was 17, just starting 11th grade. That should have been the time for her to focus on her studies, but no, she was busy helping others, diligently maintaining her image, building her reputation, so busy every day that her feet barely touched the ground. I even thought about cracking open her head to see if she was possessed by someone or bound by some saintly system. That year in May, a devastating earthquake struck a remote area. Countless people lost their homes, the whole country united to help. My school was no exception. The school organized a fundraising event during the morning break so everyone could contribute their small part. Before the donation, the teacher specifically instructed, "Natural disasters destroy homes, but people have compassion. No matter how great the difficulties, as long as we unite, we will overcome them." Our small amount of money might only be enough to buy a loaf of bread or a bottle of water for our compatriots in the affected areas, but believe that kindness is priceless. Everyone contributes within their means. A little help is still help. There's no need to be too strict about the amount donated, nor should it affect your family's life, understood? We all nodded in unison. Though young, everyone understood that if you went into debt for a donation, sacrificing your own food and drink, that would be truly foolish. The next day, during the flag-raising ceremony, the official donation event took place. And then I discovered that foolish person was Anya Pham. Amidst the crowd, where people donated an average of 5 yuan each, Anya Pham pulled out a red cloth packet. She opened it right in front of everyone. Inside was a thick stack of bills, all red. The entire assembly hall immediately buzzed. Even the teacher in charge of recording donations was stunned. One must know that even the principal only donated 5,000 yuan. Yet a high school student like Anya Pham, from a family that wasn't wealthy at all, managed to surpass even the principal. She puffed out her chest, held her head high, intending to place each stack of money into the donation box, but the principal stopped her. His face looked visibly uncomfortable, and his voice deepened. "Student, have you discussed this with your family?" Anya Pham blinked and nodded innocently. "Of course, I've discussed it. My parents fully agree with this decision." Then she rattled on. Right now, our frontline soldiers are putting their lives at risk. They brave the rain and sun, defying the danger of aftershocks to save every glimmer of hope for life. Compared to their sacrifice, this small amount of money from me is nothing. I believe that with this help, the people in the disaster-stricken area will surely overcome their difficulties and rise strongly once again. Her passionate words made the teachers applaud in unison. To commend her actions, the principal specially awarded her class the rotating red banner, and I stood on the stage, watching her, radiant with pride, feeling as if I'd been thrown into an ice pit. If I wasn't mistaken, the money in that red cloth packet was my parents' startup capital. My parents, fearing loss, had specifically hidden it under their pillow. This was the money they had borrowed from everywhere, scraped together, just so that when my dad was laid off by the company, he could open a small shop to support the family. Anya fam took all this money to show off. Did she ever think about how we would live afterwards? I was so furious I was trembling. After returning to class, my close friends dared to ask me, "Is your family that rich? Look, your sister donated so much money. Why did you only donate 5 yuan? That's right, Mina. Your sister donated so much, did your parents really agree? If it were my parents, they'd definitely beat my legs until they broke. I heard the teacher say your sister donated 50,000 yuan, 50,000 yuan, 50,000. My chest ached in waves. I didn't understand why the school accepted that amount without any suspicion. Perhaps they rarely encountered such a fool, so they happily took it. Not only did they accept it, but they even had the head of the education department present, Anya fam, with a plaque inscribed with 4 large characters. Kindness in adversity, benevolence spreading far. After school, I rushed home. As soon as I entered the door, I heard Mom and Dad arguing fiercely. Dad blamed Mom for taking the money without telling him. Mom, in turn, accused Dad of stealing the money. They pushed and shoved, yelling at each other, but neither of them suspected me or Anya. They couldn't believe their own daughters would be thieves. Moreover, what would 2 kids like us do with such a large sum of money? They argued so fiercely that they even dragged both sides' ancestors into the insults. Even though I wore headphones, I could still hear every word clearly. Unable to bear it any longer, I slammed the door and shouted, "Mom, Dad, stop arguing. The 50,000 yuan in the red cloth packet was taken by Anya fam. Today, the school organized a fundraiser, and she donated all that money to the disaster-stricken area." As soon as my words ended, Mom and Dad, who were still grappling, froze. Mom clutched her chest and collapsed onto the sofa, her lips trembling as she cried out, "Oh my God, what a disaster." Dad furiously slammed his hand on the coffee table, scattering objects everywhere, while I just sat silently by the door, watching him slowly puff on a cigarette for a long, long time. Eventually, Mom looked up at me, her eyes filled with tears. She choked out, "Mina, I knew your sister was reckless, but I never imagined it would come to this." I pursed my lips, offering no reply but secretly scoffing. When she snatched my teddy bear to curry favor with others when I was little, did Mom and Dad stop her? When she grew up with her excessive kindness, she would rather let the family suffer than stop helping outsiders. Did Mom and Dad ever object? They chose to turn a blind eye, so what is there to regret now? Perhaps it was from then that she tasted the sweetness of praise and became obsessed with this saintly reputation. The atmosphere in the house was suffocating. I put on my headphones, bent my head, and did my homework, waiting for the drama to unfold. Finally, the clock struck 10 p.m. Anya fam came home late, cheerfully carrying the honorary plaque, completely unaware that a domestic war had just begun. Dad was still sitting by the door, silently enduring the cold wind from afar. Seeing her run back, he said nothing, just turned and walked straight into his room. Before closing the door, he gritted his teeth and said to Mom, "This is the good daughter you raised." Mom, eyes red, stared at the door. Even if Anya fam was a saint, she wasn't stupid. Sensing the unusual atmosphere in the house, she immediately rolled up the plaque and hid it behind her back, cautiously asking Mom, "Mom, what's wrong?" Mom still stared at the space behind her. "What are you hiding?" Hearing this, she breathed a sigh of relief, took it out, and showed it to Mom. "Oh, this is a plaque the school awarded me to commend my actions." Seeing Mom's face darken like the bottom of a pot, she immediately understood the reason for Mom and Dad's anger. Her face turned pale, and her voice trembled. "Mom, I know I was wrong, but I only used the money to save people." "Look, Mom, They lost their homes in the earthquake and are suffering terribly. Mom slapped her across the face. I don't know if they lost their homes, but I only know we are about to lose ours. Do you know how much money you took? 50,000. 50,000 yuan. That's the money Mom and Dad borrowed from everywhere, pleading and begging just to open a shop to make a living. Anya fam, you're amazing. Even when our whole family is sleeping on the streets, I bet you'll still be happily clutching this plaque, won't you? Anya fam was stunned by the slap, covering her face and crying bitterly. Why did you hit me? Did I do something wrong? Mom, you don't know, those people were really miserable. I saw their pictures, all covered in blood, with no food, no place to live. Mom was so angry her teeth gnashed. What does that have to do with you? Everyone else only donated 5 to 10 yuan, and what about you? You stole the family's money and donated 50,000 yuan. Anya fam's lips trembled, wanting to say something, but Mom grew even angrier. She'd had heart disease all along and had been suppressing her anger. Now, provoked to this extent, she clutched her chest, swayed, and fell backward. I rushed forward in a panic to catch Mom, simultaneously pushing her heart medication into her mouth. Anya fam froze in place, her hand outstretched, but her feet seemed glued to the ground, unable to move. Her face was ashen and her voice cracked as she asked me, Mina, did I really do something wrong? I just wanted to show my compassion. I coldly glanced at her, expressionless. Next time, if you want to do charity, sacrifice yourself. Don't drag the whole family to death with you. Anya fam wilted like a flower under frost, hanging her head low. Mom gasped for breath on the bed. Dad came out of the room, his face heavy. He had just called the school administration, but the school said the money had already been sent and couldn't be retrieved. However, to encourage her spirit, they would award Anya fam the title of 3 Virtues student. Dad shook his head. Well, she's still my daughter. What can I do to her? Grace, pack your things. Tomorrow I'm going to work as a laborer at a construction site. This shop isn't opening anymore. Mom, tears welling in her eyes, silently nodded. Anya fam breathed a sigh of relief, even secretly pleased that she would receive the 3 Virtues student title. But the nightmare had just begun. Before being fired, Dad was the factory director's personal driver. His job was merely driving and running errands. He had never done manual labor before. But Mom's health was poor and she couldn't work. Anya and I were still in school. There were 3 mouths to feed, plus the 50,000 yuan debt. Working as a construction laborer became the fastest way to earn money. The next morning, before dawn, Dad went to work with some friends at the construction site. For several months afterward, we only received his salary but didn't see Dad return. The 3 women in the house could only hope and wait day after day. Finally, one day, he did return, but in a coffin draped in white cloth. They said that during his lunch break, Dad was standing on scaffolding and saw scattered materials. He personally picked them up to clear the area for the afternoon's work. Unexpectedly, a colleague accidentally bumped into him, causing him to fall from the 10th-something floor, his head hitting the ground. He died instantly. The person who caused the accident was an old man. He was working as a porter, trying to earn money to put his son through college. After the incident, he cried every day, kneeling at the construction site, repeatedly repenting. Mom completely collapsed, her illness worsening. She could only lie in bed, gasping for breath. At that time, I was just a child. The only person in the house who could step up was Anya fam, who had just turned 18. To avoid upsetting Mom, the contractor secretly pulled her aside to discuss compensation after Dad's death. But no matter what, we can't let your mother know. I'm afraid she won't be able to handle this shock. Anya fam voluntarily took on this responsibility. When she returned, Mom, with a last breath, looked up and asked, Snow, what did the construction site say about your father's accident? Anya fam exhaled. Mom, don't push it. No one wanted this to happen. Just now, the boss told me that the person who caused it was accidental. Besides, Dad wasn't wearing safety gear, which is why he fell. And the person who bumped Dad was an old man. He was also working at the construction site to support his son's education. I interrupted, so what does that have to do with us? Whether he supports his son or not, he can't push our dad off a building. You don't need to pity anyone because no one pities us. In short, Dad was pushed by him and he's dead. He must take responsibility. Not just him, the construction site must also take responsibility. Tell us straight, how much are they offering in compensation? Anya fam, without a word, reached out and poked my forehead. Money, 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 is that all you care about? Why are you so materialistic now? Dad is gone. Up in heaven, he surely wants us to live well. Do you really need that money so badly? Mom immediately pulled her back, looking at her warily. Anya fam, you've said so much. Have you not taken the compensation money? Anya fam quickly shook her head. How could that be? It's just that the construction site said if we want compensation, we have to go through procedures. It might take another year or two for the money to arrive. Mom breathed a sigh of relief. As long as there's money, it's fine. I understood why Mom said that, because if Anya fam kept her usual personality, it was very possible she wouldn't claim the compensation. Wouldn't Dad have died in vain then? After Dad's death, our lives became even harder, but Anya fam stuck to her old habits, jumping in to help whenever she saw injustice. The only difference was that I was older now. The living allowance Mom gave me, I saved every penny, locking it in a drawer. She couldn't control me anymore, couldn't touch my money anymore. Unable to exploit me, she could only use her own pocket money to do good deeds. I don't know if it was my imagination, but ever since she couldn't take advantage of me, her charitable activities tended to shift to things that didn't cost money, only effort. To earn money to support us two sisters, Mom found a job as a housekeeper. She worked in an apartment building, caring for an elderly woman over 80 who was still self-sufficient. Every day, she just needed to cook and bathe the elderly woman. Thanks to this job, our lives became a little easier. But 6 months later, on a Sunday morning, Mom rushed home from her employer's house. As soon as she saw Anya fam, she slapped her across the face. Anya fam froze, and I was startled too. Anya fam covered her face and screamed, "Mom, are you crazy? Why did you suddenly hit me?" Mom was so furious she lost all reason. I'm sick for believing you would claim the compensation. I asked the construction site, and they said the compensation money was transferred to you less than half a month after Dad died. And for 6 months, you haven't said a word to me. What did you do with that money? How long were you planning to hide it from me? Mom was trembling all over, and I was stunned, staring at her. Anya fam, aren't you the one who treats money like dirt? Why are you hiding money now? She shook her head, her voice choked, screaming, "What money am I hiding? Am I someone who values money?" Then she admitted, "Yes, I lied that day, but it was because that family was truly struggling. Mom, do you know how much the construction site compensated? 500,000 or 600,000 yuan. If that old man had that much money, why would he work as a laborer at a construction site? The contractor begged me to forgive him, so I agreed." The more I listened, the more something felt wrong. I quickly cut in, "So how much did the construction site compensate?" Anya fam suddenly hesitated, stuttering, 50,000 yuan. Mom was stunned as if struck by lightning, her body rigid, unable to utter a sound. I frowned and continued to ask, "So where's the money?" Anya fam turned her face away, avoiding my gaze. Before, everyone kept saying I stole family money to donate, leaving the whole family deeply in debt. So as soon as I received the 50,000 yuan, I skipped school, went to the bank, withdrew everything, and went door to door to repay the debts. Didn't you notice, Mom? Since when did relatives stop coming to demand money from you? As soon as these words came out, Mom let out a cry and fainted on the spot. I couldn't hold back anymore, angrily shouting at her face, "You're really crazy. I swear, I want to crack open your head to see what makes you so different from us. The one who died was your dad, and you just took the compensation money to pay off debts? Didn't Dad die in vain then?" She frowned uncomfortably, looking at me. "You're the one with the problem. You're just a kid. What right do you have to be angry with me? Even if we got the money back, do you think it would belong to you? It's truly a case of the eunuch rushing before the emperor," she casually said. "How can Dad be called having died in vain? Didn't he hate being indebted to others the most? This way, it's good, all debts are repaid, and Dad can rest in peace in heaven." I screamed, "Rest in peace your head. Why don't you just die, you pig-headed idiot?" Anya fam's face darkened, and she lunged to hit me, but I dodged to the side. She missed. Although I had given Mom heart medication, she was still so enraged that her illness worsened, leaving her bedridden. Anya fam used preparing for university entrance exams as an excuse to hide at school, only coming home in the middle of the night. The burden of caring for Mom fell on my shoulders. Reluctantly, I took a leave of absence from school, planning to return once Mom recovered. After all, I was only in middle school, not yet the most stressful period. Day by day, Mom's condition worsened. Finally, one day she couldn't bear it anymore. She grasped my hand and whispered, "Anya, she has no brains. She only cares about maintaining her good name, never thinking about our life or death." After mom is gone, you don't need to stay with her anymore. It's best to get into a university far away from her. Having a child like her, I must have committed a sin in my past life." After saying that, mom took her last breath. At that time, I hadn't fully understood death, only knew that both my parents died in the same year. My soul felt empty. I couldn't even shed tears. On the day of the funeral, Anya fam tightly hugged mom's photo, kneeling before the coffin, repeatedly kowtowing and sobbing so much she couldn't stand straight. The neighbors around whispered, some expressing regret, others judging, looking at the entire house and then at my sister and me. I just lowered my head, clenching my fists, calmly observing the chaos in the house and her deceitful face. After mom's death, because I was still too young to live alone, I couldn't escape immediately. I could only stay with Anya fam, relying on the meager pocket money she gave me each day. Sometimes I ate, sometimes I didn't. When I was too hungry, I drank water to survive. In just 1 year, I lost 10 kg, transforming from a fair, chubby girl into a thin, gaunt figure. As for Anya fam, because her academic performance was poor, after the university entrance exams, she didn't even score enough to get into a junior college. Having no other choice, she had to go to work to make a living. But she found working in a factory too embarrassing, so she dreamed daily of life in a big city. And so, she continued to leech off us at home for a few more years. Time passed, and finally it was time for my university entrance exams. Remembering mom's words, I was determined to get into a university far away to escape Anya fam. Every day, I buried myself in my studies. Though not outstanding, it was enough to get into a good school. Fearing Anya fam would hinder me, I kept everything secret, going to an internet cafe by myself to register my preferences. At that very moment, she wasn't even bothered about me. All day, she only cared about work and dating, completely ignoring my survival. It wasn't until I held the acceptance letter to Transportation University in my hand that she suddenly realized, this little girl has secretly become so outstanding. That evening, she sat in Dad's usual spot, adjusted her dyed red hair, and looked at me seriously. "Mina, Mom and Dad have been gone for so long, we should get used to it. People often say the eldest sister is like a mother. I've raised you for so many years, I never thought you'd actually be so capable. Truly worthy of the family, you have my old style." I looked at her warily. My intuition told me nothing good was coming. "Indeed," she continued, "you know the financial situation of our family now. For the years you've been in school, I've worked hard to support you. Now it's time for you to repay me. My fiancé and I are planning to get married, but his family flatly said that if we want a dowry, the bride's family must also provide a dowry. We can't ask for something for nothing. Mom and Dad passed away early. You are my biological sister and my only living relative. Helping me with a little dowry isn't too much to ask, isn't it?" I instinctively refused. "I'm just a student, where would I get the money?" Anya fam laughed coldly, her eyes glancing at the acceptance letter on the table. "No money, but you have this. This is also money." I pretended not to understand. She impatiently glared at me, gritting her teeth. "If it were before, I wouldn't even pay attention to you. But now it's different. To be frank, I'm in a hurry to get married. As for why, I don't need to tell a little kid like you. As soon as you got your acceptance letter, I showed off the news at work. Unexpectedly, someone liked this letter. It's my fiancé's boss's daughter. She's your age and looks like you. You understand what I mean, right? You give up your university spot. You're so smart, my fiancé said he can pay for you to retake the exam next year. You can go wherever you want. See, this way you still get to go to university and maybe even get into a better school. I get married, and my husband might even get a promotion and get rich. Isn't that killing 2 birds with 1 stone? I was so furious my whole body trembled. I gritted my teeth and said, "You sold Dad's life for 50,000 yuan. Now how much is my acceptance letter worth?" Anya fam waved her hand, a sneer on her lips. "Children say such unpleasant things. What's sold for 50,000 yuan? You help others once and they'll help you back in the future. Talking to you is useless, no need to say those things. In short, this acceptance letter is worth at least." She raised both hands, making a 20 gesture. I laughed coldly. "Ridiculous. Dad's life was only worth 50,000, but my acceptance letter is worth 200,000 yuan. I was afraid she would pull a trick behind my back, so in front of her, I pretended to agree. When she held out her hand for the acceptance letter, I feigned pitifulness and said, I'll give it to you tomorrow. My name is still on it anyway. Can I hold it for one more night, sis? I rarely called her sis in my life, but enduring for a moment was better than losing for a lifetime. I already had a plan in my head. Anya fam thought for a moment, neither agreeing nor disagreeing. She turned to call her boyfriend to break the news. I carefully hid my acceptance letter under my pillow. I waited until 3 a.m. after she finished her call and was snoring soundly before I began to act. I already had my things packed in my backpack, carefully placing the acceptance letter on top, fearing it would get creased. Then I took out my phone's SIM card, turned off the alarm, tiptoed to close the door, and rushed straight to the train station. In my entire life, I had never run so fast. 1 month before university orientation, I officially escaped this rotten family and the blood-sucking leech Anya fam. I used the identity of an orphan, studied and worked, quickly finding a job. Though it was only as a restaurant server, at least I could earn money for tuition. Plus national scholarships, merit scholarships, and part-time jobs, I managed everything myself during my 4 years of university. But because I studied and worked, I had no money or time, so I couldn't pursue graduate studies. I chose to step directly into society, working hard to earn money and buy my own home, living for myself. I don't know if she really looked for me during those years, but I knew one thing for sure. Anya fam and I had completely cut off contact for 7 years. If there wasn't anything she needed, she definitely wouldn't actively seek me out. Now, I work for a large tech corporation. After 3 years of hard work, I finally reached a salary level of 30,000 yuan a month. When I saved my first 200,000 yuan, I borrowed more money to buy a ready-made 2-bedroom, 1-living-room apartment, enough for me. Even though I have to pay off the loan every month, having a home to return to after work every day makes me very satisfied. It's hard to believe that from a bookworm in a small town, I could build a life like this with my own hands. Working during the day, dating friends at night, enjoying my own life, isn't this the joy of adulthood? But when I was living so well, why did she appear, bringing back dark memories of the past? On the TV screen, Anya fam was rambling about something. Annoyed, I changed the channel, not wanting to see any news about her. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I guess she was looking for me, definitely not for anything good, more like a wolf visiting a chicken coop during New Year's. So I pretended I hadn't seen anything, went to work and left as usual. But I underestimated the power of the media. Anya fam had no intention of letting me go. She wanted to break me, exploit me to the very end. And then the TV program brought her to my company. The moment I saw them, I completely froze. The face in front of me looked very much like mine, just much older. Anya fam was only 30, but she looked like a middle-aged woman in her early 40s. But she still wore a white dress, her hair braided to both sides, trying to maintain her princess dream. I looked at her. In truth, she was now no different from a middle-aged woman deluding herself about her youth. Under the TV program's cameras, in front of the entire crew and my colleagues, she dropped to her knees with a thud, sobbing, "Mina, I finally found you. Do you know how miserable I've been for the past 7 years?" My colleagues' eyes turned to me. Embarrassed, I led them out of the building. At this moment, the MC looked up at the towering skyscraper, his eyes full of admiration. The MC looked at Anya fam and said pointedly, "Look, your sister is so successful now. Working for a big corporation like this, her income must be quite good, right?" Anya fam wiped her tears and subtly glanced around my workplace. She looked around, then nodded, completely satisfied. Seeing their expressions, I couldn't help but interrupt. "How did you find me?" Anya fam gave a cold laugh. "Thanks to the program, you've only been gone for 7 years, your appearance and height haven't changed much. Although the name Mina fam is quite common, I knew your university. All it took was a little searching. Do you remember me, my sister?" The MC pointed the microphone at my mouth. The entire program crew eagerly awaited my answer. They hoped for shocking news, wishing I would say something sensational to boost the program's ratings. Since that was the case, I might as well give them a big gift. I sneered, "Do I remember you? Perhaps I don't need to think about that, do I? The year I left, you tried to hide my university acceptance letter to exchange it for money. I had to run away from home and work hard to earn money so I could continue my studies. Do you think I still dare to remember you? Am I the kind of person who bites the hand that feeds them? Oh, right, I haven't even asked if the man who made you pregnant at 23 has married you yet." As soon as these words came out, Anya Pham's face turned ashen. She glared at me, her lips trembling, unable to utter a word. The entire program staff was stunned, then immediately began buzzing with discussions. They only knew half the story, never imagining my words would expose a different version. Anya Pham was so embarrassed she panicked, hastily covering the camera, stammering, "It's all a misunderstanding. My sister misunderstood me. This part doesn't need to be aired." How could they pass up such hot news? The cameraman stepped aside. The MC smiled knowingly. "It's okay, this is our responsibility. Ms. Pham, you must be happy to see your sister again, right? How about you two sisters talk a little?" The TV program couldn't miss any opportunity to boost ratings. Now, Anya Pham had truly shot herself in the foot. I calmly extended my hand to the crew and said, "We've just reunited. It might not be appropriate to air everything now, right? We'll talk first and then proactively contact you all later." The MC handed me his business card and even his WeChat number, then led the entire crew away. As they left, I turned back into the building, preparing to go back to work. But Anya Pham grabbed my arm. "Aren't you going to talk to me? Why are you going back to work?" I glanced at her, coldly and directly. "Talking to you could make me lose my job, 30,000 yuan a month. Do you still want to talk?" She immediately released my hand, forced a smile. All right, you go to work. I'll wait for you at the office." My colleagues surrounded me, curious. I looked at my documents and nonchalantly replied, "Nothing, just a crazy person." Hearing this, they lost interest and quietly dispersed. After all, no one wants to interfere in other people's private matters, at least on the surface. After work, Anya Pham was still there. I knew that seeing me live well, she would absolutely not give up on this lucrative target. She followed me, maintaining a distance like a persistent toad on someone's leg, not biting, but very annoying. Finally, I couldn't stand it anymore. I turned and asked directly, "What exactly do you want? Why are you looking for me?" She was startled, blinked, and feigned innocence. "You're my sister. Do I need a reason to look for you? Is it wrong for me to miss you?" From the fragmented memories she recounted, I finally pieced together the whole story. After I left, their plan fell apart. She couldn't swap my university spot, and that girl couldn't use my blood for anything, so in the end, she had to buy a fake diploma to go to school. But during that process, many problems arose. Her boyfriend, Victor Trio, was scrutinized by his boss, demoted, and eventually fired. His family vented all their anger on Anya Pham. The two sides argued fiercely. In a fit of rage, she tried to use the baby in her womb to threaten his family, intentionally falling to elicit sympathy. Unexpectedly, as she fell, she instinctively twisted, her stomach hitting the ground hard. As a result, she lost the baby. Not only that, her uterus was severely damaged, making it likely she couldn't have children in the future. Knowing she had problems, his family decisively abandoned her. That man was a mama's boy. To get money for spending, he reluctantly followed his family's wishes and completely cut ties with Anya Pham. Anya Pham was abandoned, alone, appealing to everyone for help but to no avail. Only then did she remember me, the sister she had once suppressed and exploited. But she didn't know where I was, so she could only go to the city where I had studied university, searching vaguely. But since she had no money, she worked while looking for me, and that's how 7 years passed. Now Anya Pham, tears streaming down her face, recounted her suffering to me. I just listened calmly, in one ear and out the other. I knew exactly what she was thinking. When I was little, I was just a hanger-on. She only wished I'd disappear as far as possible, preferably die somewhere. But now I was grown up, graduated from a prestigious school, and could earn money. Who knows, maybe in the future I'd be rich. Of course, Anya Pham wanted to cling to me, ideally to marry, have children, and then wait for me to die so her child could inherit all my assets. Did she say I was infertile? Don't doubt, she truly did it, because I saw her belly was slightly protruding. She also noticed my gaze and awkwardly shifted to avoid it. When I was looking for you, a guy helped me a lot. We even registered our marriage. This time, coming to find you, it was his idea to tell me to go on the TV show. I suddenly realized. So she had been blinded and married someone who only knew how to take advantage of others. She tugged at my sleeve. "Mina, where's your house? Let's go to your place. You see, I'm pregnant now, I can't be homeless and without support. After all, you're this baby's biological aunt, isn't it?" I coldly glanced at her. "Sorry, I dare not accept that title. Being able to stand here and talk to you is already showing you a lot of respect. You caused Dad's death and drove Mom to illness and death. There's been no affection between us for a long time. Haven't you always wanted to be a saint? If you like to act, then go act for whoever wants to watch. I can't afford that, nor am I worthy of being the sister of someone as noble as you. Anya Pham's eyes were red, her voice choked. Those things have nothing to do with me. No matter what I say, you won't understand, will you? Dad chose to work at the construction site himself. Mom's death was also due to her weak health. She took her own life out of despair. How can you blame it all on me? I nodded, a cold smile on my face. Right. Of course, it's not your fault. If you hadn't stolen the family's money to donate, Dad wouldn't have had to work at the construction site to make a living. If you hadn't, to maintain your image, refused the compensation money, would Mom have been so angry she fell ill and died? Now you're even going on TV to exploit Mom's death to gain sympathy. Do you think Mom can rest in peace? At night, when you sleep, be a little careful. Mom might come looking for you. Anya Pham's face turned ashen. She stiffened, then slowly darkened. So you're not going to fulfill your duty as an aunt, right? I laughed coldly, as if I'd heard a huge joke. Anya Pham, what's wrong with you? Did I make you get pregnant? Did I force you to sleep with a man? What does your pregnancy have to do with me? Why aren't you looking for the baby's father but bothering me instead? If you continue to harass me, I'll call the police immediately. And when that happens, I'll expose your saintly facade. Let's see if people still praise you then. Anya Pham feared losing face the most. She flinched but still glared at me furiously. Fine, you just wait, I'll definitely make you pay. Saying this, she spun around and walked away. I watched her retreating back with a cold laugh, shouting, "No problem, I'll wait. But have you ever thought that the karma you created has come back to haunt you? I wonder if every night when you sleep, you dream of the child you lost yourself." Anya Pham paused for a second, then walked faster. I thought she was scared and wouldn't bother me again, but I was too naive. She secretly questioned my colleagues and got my home address, then waited outside my door when I got home from work. She held a lunchbox, her eyes red, looking at me pitifully. "I know you live alone and definitely don't eat well. I came to visit you, and I brought your favorite dish, chicken soup. I even added cordyceps and goat stomach mushrooms. You work so hard, you need to nourish yourself more." I raised an eyebrow at her. If I remember correctly, when I was little, if I ate more than 2 pieces of meat, you would scream, "All beings are equal," and force the whole family to be vegetarian with you. Why are you eating chicken now? Aren't you going to say all beings are equal anymore? Chickens are so adorable, how can you eat chicken? She was embarrassed, flustered, and gave a forced laugh. I was young back then, I didn't think clearly. Don't hold it against me anymore. I laughed coldly, not bothering to open the door, and said directly, "Go to the temple. My small house can't accommodate a big Buddha statue like you." This time, Anya Pham didn't try to force me to open the door. She placed the chicken soup on the ground and said indifferently, "It's okay if you don't accept it. Anyway, we're no longer sisters. I won't force you to help, but I'm pregnant now, and my wedding with my husband hasn't been held yet. Besides the wedding, we also need to rent a house and need a sum of money." I laughed coldly. Indeed, I caught her eye, which was full of understanding. Her expression changed slightly. "Don't worry, consider this money a loan. After I give birth, and after the baby's full month, I'll go out and find a job. I'll definitely pay you back soon." I burst out laughing. "So, I lend you money, wait 10 months for you to give birth, wait another month for the baby's full month, and then wait to see if you can find a job? What if something unexpected happens in between and you can't work? Then this money is considered lost. So I have to wait another 6 years for your child to start elementary school, then another 12 years for high school, then 4 years of university, and then wait for them to start working before I get my money back. Anya Pham, are you stupid, or do you think I'm stupid?" She blushed. I continued to deliver the final blow. "When you were little, you helped so many people. Why don't you go borrow money from them? That disabled old man next door, the little greengrocer girl from childhood, that accidental murderer from that year, the construction site contractor, all those relatives you paid for, if each of them lent you 10,000 yuan, you'd be richer than a millionaire." I wasn't surprised by this. Ever since Mom and Dad died, those relatives had disappeared without a trace. Neighbors also avoided us, fearing we'd come begging. Those with means moved away to big cities or different neighborhoods. No one left contact information. No one remembered Anya Pham's good deeds. She deluded herself into being a saint, but forgot that she had wholeheartedly helped the wrong people. Anya fam shook her head. They're outsiders, it would be awkward to borrow from them, but we're family. I raised my hand to stop her. Who's family with you? I'll say it again, I'm not lending you money and I don't have any money. I'm still in debt to the bank. It's a miracle I'm not coming to you for money. Go away or I'll call the police. She gritted her teeth, standing there, pleading for a while. Seeing that I wouldn't budge, she left angrily. After that, Anya fam disappeared for a while. The next time I saw her, she was wearing a silver ring, proudly coming to me, ready to show off her happiness. I was a little surprised, so she managed to borrow money for her wedding. Anya fam puffed out her chest and boasted, "My husband said it's better to have no sister than one like you who you can't rely on. We organized the wedding ourselves. He rented a place, and friends wrote IOUs for the dowry. The wedding rings are only silver, but our love is as strong as gold," I chuckled. "Well then, go enjoy your happiness. Why are you coming to my house?" She opened her phone and found a map of my apartment complex, then showed it to me. "Your house has a great location, close to a school. It's like a house in a school district. My brother-in-law said if you don't lend us money for the wedding, that's fine. But after the baby is born, we can't keep living in a rented house. After all, you live alone, and a 2-bedroom apartment has extra space. Why don't we live together? It'll be convenient to take care of each other. Besides, there should be a man in the house." I was speechless. I had never met anyone so brazen, not lending money, so she wanted to live for free? What a joke. Seeing I had no reaction, she lowered her voice and pleaded, "It was my fault before, I'm sorry, okay? Mom and Dad have been gone for many years, who knows, maybe they've been reincarnated. Why are you still holding a grudge against me? I beg you, let us stay. I'll work like a cow or a horse for you, I'll even kneel." I kicked the doormat hard. "If you like kneeling, then kneel. I'm going inside now." Saying this, I opened the door, preparing to step in. Anya fam tried to push her way in, but I slammed the door shut. She recoiled in fright, forced to stand outside and knock. I thought that after being directly rejected, she would give up this unreasonable idea. Unexpectedly, I underestimated their shamelessness. To force me to give up my home, Anya fam quit her job and fully dedicated herself to harassing me. She hired people to hang 2 large banners at the entrance of my complex and at my workplace. They read, "Inhuman, heartless, Mina fam, ungrateful, unfilial." My company had to send a leader to talk to me. I reluctantly told them everything. The leader patted my shoulder and asked, "Do you need legal support from the company? We can help." I thought for a moment, then nodded in agreement. For so long, Anya fam had refused to grow up. She always listened to men, still thinking she could use old methods to force me. But she forgot that times had changed. Now there was something called the law. I adjusted my mood and continued to go to work as usual. Every day, when I passed the defamatory banner in front of my complex, I didn't even glance at it, treating it as if it belonged to someone with the same name as me. Seeing that I was unaffected, Anya fam couldn't stand it anymore. One morning, as I was about to open my door to go to work, I found the door locked shut. No matter how I tried, it wouldn't open. Having no other choice, I had to call a locksmith. While waiting, I kept in contact with the locksmith by phone. As soon as he reached my floor, he immediately let out a gasp. "Damn," I was startled. "What's wrong?" The locksmith hesitated for a moment, then said, "Miss, have you offended anyone? Your door is covered in spray paint and there's even feces. The lock has been damaged too." I was stunned. The locksmith was also shocked. He opened the lock first, then we both observed the door. On my newly replaced door, someone had sprayed paint everywhere, writing all sorts of filthy words, even falsely accusing me of being a prostitute, labeling me with words like sugar baby and escort. Not only that, they had also poured dirty substances into the lock, making it impossible for me to open the door. But I didn't get angry. I calmly took pictures of every piece of evidence, then went straight to the police station to report the crime. When checking the surveillance cameras, I found the culprit was a man. He was plump, short, dressed in full clothing, wearing a mask, gloves, and a hat covering his face. He carried several cans of spray paint directly to my doorstep and then casually began spraying and damaging the door, clearly targeting me. The police looked at the screen and asked, "Do you have any enemies?" I thought for a moment and replied, "If I do, there's one person, but I don't have direct evidence." So the police continued to investigate. Fortunately, my city had a dense camera system. It only took 2 days for them to catch the spray painter. When I was at work, the police called to inform me, asking if I wanted to reconcile or press charges. I happily went to the police station. Although I was 100% sure this was Anya Pham's doing, when I actually saw her sitting next to a chubby man, leaning intimately against each other, I couldn't help but feel nauseous. As soon as she saw me enter, Anya Pham was startled, quickly pushed the man's hand away, and rushed forward, scolding, "Mina, how could you call the police on your own brother-in-law? Do you have no conscience?" The police were surprised. "Brother-in-law, do you two know each other? Is this a family matter?" I coldly shook my head. "Excuse me, I don't know them, and I assure you I will pursue this to the very end and will not let them off. The amount of damage is not small. I will sue." At this point, Anya Pham stopped pretending. She widened her eyes, her face changing. "Stop pretending. You're just a petty wage earner. So what if a door got spray painted? If you're so good, just kill me." I looked at her, unable to believe this was the gentle, chrysanthemum-like elder sister of yesteryear. Clearly, the chubby man next to her liked her personality. He snorted disdainfully. "Isn't it just a door? We'll pay for it, so what? If you don't listen to your sister, I swear you won't survive in this city." I immediately turned to the police. "Officer, he's threatening me. Please witness this for me." At this point, the two still didn't take the matter seriously until I stated the price of the door. Total damage, 40,000 yuan. They completely went crazy. 40,000. "Are you crazy? Are you trying to trick us out of money? A door costs 40,000? Is even the lock that expensive?" I showed them the invoice. This door was custom made, not cheap, but very secure. A total of 50,000 yuan, not a penny less. I bet they couldn't afford that amount. Sure enough, the next second, the chubby man's face changed. He turned and yelled at Anya Pham, "Damn it, I only did what you told me. If we have to pay, asterisk you pay for it, why should I?" Anya Pham was stunned. "What do you mean it has nothing to do with you? When I talked to you, you immediately agreed. You even said if we got the house back, you'd bring your parents to live with us. Now you're pushing everything onto me. Don't forget, I'm pregnant with your child." The chubby man glared at her, gritting his teeth. "Don't threaten me with a child. Before you met me, weren't you a cheap streamer? Who knows how many men you've slept with? It's not even certain this child is mine. Wait until it's born and we do a DNA test. If it's not my child, I'll beat this bastard to death." Anya Pham shrieked and lunged to hit him. I grabbed her arm tightly and pulled her back. She, tears welling up, looked at me for help. "Mina, I know you're still on my side." Before she could finish, I cut in, "Excuse me, I'm asking if you plan to beat the baby to death or its mother. But that's not my business. The issue now is compensation for the door and a public apology. Otherwise, we'll meet in court." Anya Pham went mad. "I won't pay, I don't have money. If you're so good, sue me. Better yet, throw me in jail. Let me give birth in jail, that's fine too." I turned to the chubby man and asked, "Hey, what did you just say? Say it clearly." He flung my hand away and cursed, "Get lost, don't involve me." While those two were arguing, I went outside to find the police officer. "Those two are bickering. I see reconciliation is impossible, so I'll just press charges, okay? Let him go to jail for 2 years. That'll satisfy him." Hearing this, the police officer frowned and went inside. Not long after, he returned and said, "That man has agreed to compensate. However, 50,000 yuan is not a small amount. He needs time to gather the money." I nodded in agreement but also made a demand. "I'll give them a maximum of 1 month. If they don't pay by then, he goes to jail." I also took the opportunity to ask the police about the defamatory banners. They said I could sue, but it was best to settle amicably, as lawsuits take a lot of time. After thinking it over, I agreed it made sense, so I temporarily waited to see if they would pay. Unexpectedly, in less than a week, they had gathered enough money. The compensation was transferred directly to my Alipay by Anya Pham. Half a month later that evening, I declined a male colleague's offer to drive me home, walking leisurely alone. I wore headphones, looking down at TikTok, completely unguarded. I was even calculating how I would use the compensation money from Anya Pham and that man. I would buy a cheaper door, and the leftover money could buy more home appliances. Just as I was browsing Taobao, a dark shadow appeared in front of me. It blocked the streetlights, startling me. Before I could react, the figure reached into their pocket and pulled out something. Before I could clearly see who it was, a cold gleam flashed, and thud asterisk a chilling pain spread from my stomach. In that instant, I felt a warm liquid gush out. The person said nothing, turned, and ran away. I watched him, unable to speak. Then, vaguely, I looked down, my hand touching my lower abdomen. Under the streetlights, I saw bright red on my hand. I've been stabbed. Perhaps he stabbed a spot that wasn't too dangerous. I remained conscious, called 120 for an ambulance myself, then lay down on the sidewalk, took off my jacket, pressed it against the wound, trying to minimize bleeding, and quietly waited for help. Fortunately, I didn't go into shock from blood loss. Even when I was put into the ambulance and entered the hospital room, I was still conscious. However, perhaps due to significant blood loss, I eventually fell asleep. I don't know how long I slept. When I woke up, the room was empty. I fumbled for my phone, wanting to see how long I had been there and who had been taking care of me. Not long after, a woman holding a hot water bottle walked in. Seeing me awake, she screamed, "Mina, you're awake. Are you okay?" I nodded, trying to force a grimace. "Not dead yet." Anya fam put the water bottle down, intending to reach out and touch me, but seeing my wary look, she quickly withdrew her hand. She stood by my bed, cradling her pregnant belly, looking like a child who had made a mistake. But I felt no pity, only suspicion. "I don't have your number. The hospital has no reason to call you. So why are you here?" Anya fam pursed her lips, then turned her face away, tears falling. "Don't blame your brother-in-law. He just drank too much and got angry for a moment, so he retaliated against you. Afterwards, he confessed to me. He said you saw his face, and he was afraid of going to jail, so he told me to come here to take care of you and also to ask for your forgiveness. Mina, I beg you, we are sisters after all. Can we let it go? I promise I won't bother you anymore, won't borrow money from you anymore. Can we just be like 7 years ago, rivers not crossing paths?" I wanted to slap her across the face, but just moving made the wound ache terribly. I was so angry I choked. Victor Triou drank too much, it was pitch black, and he was standing against the light under a streetlight. I couldn't even see his face clearly. How could he be worried I'd recognize him? When I was stabbed, I thought I was just unlucky to be mugged. I never imagined the culprit was him. In my entire life, I've never seen a wolf come forward to confess its crimes. I laughed coldly. "All right, so now I stab him once, or stab you once, and it's all even, right?" Anya fam turned pale, stammering, "No, you can't, I'm pregnant. Victor can't either. He's as weak as a useless chunk of meat. If he's stabbed, he'll definitely die. And how can my child not have a father?" I raised an eyebrow, a cold smile on my face. "So, you mean I got stabbed and I should just endure it? So, who's going to compensate me for my medical expenses, my lost wages from taking time off work, plus my emotional damages?" Anya fam pursed her lips. Thousands of excuses ultimately condensed into one apology. "Can I take care of you to deduct from that amount? After all, you're alone and have no one to care for you. Hiring a nurse would cost a lot of money. And you see, Victor supports his whole family. He's also suffering a lot. Please, I beg you, can you forgive him?" As she spoke, she tried to kneel by my bed. This saintly tone, I'd heard it for 17 years. Hearing it again now, I only felt disgust. I shivered and scoffed. "So, in short, your husband stabbed me and then you take care of me and now I'm indebted to you. You mean you're bestowing a favor upon me, right? Spare me the platitudes, I'm sick of hearing them. He's suffering, and I'm having an easy time. I struggled alone, working hard to get where I am today. He just came and stabbed me and I'm supposed to forgive him. I'm tough, so I didn't die, but if I had, who would you be begging for forgiveness? Would you kneel before my tombstone and plead? I'll say it one last time. Victor is suffering, you are suffering, and I am also suffering. Everyone in this world has their own hardships, but what do their hardships have to do with me? Did they raise me? Did they help me? Did they even know who I was? If you commit a crime, you must face the consequences. You can't use everyone is suffering as a shield. Do you know how Mom and Dad died? You've helped so many people, yet when you were suffering, did anyone ask about you? Anya fam, you've lived for over 30 years and still don't understand this principle." Saying this, I pressed the call button for the nurse. "Please, escort her out. I don't want to see her anymore. It's best if we never meet again in this lifetime." I stayed in the hospital for half a month before my wound fully healed. The doctor told me I was lucky. The person who stabbed me was an amateur and didn't dare to use too much force. If he had been a little stronger, puncturing my spleen and causing internal bleeding, I might have died. Hearing this, I shivered. I even considered hiring a bodyguard to follow me every day. After being discharged, I temporarily worked from home and also researched the law. After consulting, I resolutely reported to the police and sued Anya fam and Victor Triou. I sued them for 3 counts: destruction of private property, defamation of personal honor, and intentional bodily harm. Anya fam was additionally charged with aiding and abetting a criminal. When the police came to arrest her, Anya fam was packing her luggage, preparing to flee north with Victor Triou. But because the evidence was so clear, The court quickly accepted the case. Upon receiving the court summons, Anya fam still tried to play the emotional card, begging me to withdraw the lawsuit and proposing an out-of-court settlement. But just remembering the scene of myself lying in a pool of blood that day, my whole body broke out in a cold sweat. If I hadn't been lucky that day, I might be dead now. Anya fam claimed to care about me, but when standing between me and her husband, she still chose to protect her husband. Her reason? Anyway, you're not dead, right? It sounded as if she truly wished I had died. I refused all forms of reconciliation. 7 days later, the court officially opened the trial. During this time, I took additional leave from my company. My career had just stabilized, and my relationships within the company were also firm. But now, everything was shaking. Knowing my situation, the leadership made an exception, allowing me to take a longer leave to deal with everything. The company gave me paid leave, telling me to come back to work after everything was resolved. Perhaps because I had been working for so many years and found a decent company where I was treated like a real person, I felt a warmth in my heart. During the waiting period for the trial, I collected all evidence, including photos of the times I was verbally abused and threatened, as well as the conversation in the hospital when Anya fam begged me to forgive Victor Trio. Yes, I had recorded the entire thing. Frankly, it was a coincidence. That day, I had just woken up and accidentally fiddled with my phone camera, intending to see myself wrapped in bandages like a mummy, but I accidentally pressed record video. Just then, Anya fam brought in the water bottle. I put the phone down, inadvertently recording the entire conversation. Later, when checking my photo library, I discovered this recording. My instinct told me to keep it. I never imagined it would be useful now. The case was processed very quickly. They were not intelligent people to begin with. After being detained for a few days, hearing the shouts and cries in the detention center, their spirits completely collapsed. When interrogated by the police, Victor Trio immediately confessed all his crimes without hesitation. This guy could be considered manly. He took all the blame, but attributed everything to alcohol. He accepted going to jail but begged for one thing only. Please don't put Anya fam in jail with me. She's pregnant. The police officer glanced at him pointedly, saying nothing, just relaying it to me. I rolled my eyes and scoffed. Drunk and stupid, huh? Why didn't he stab his boss? Why didn't he stab Anya fam? Why didn't he stab the police but chose to stab me? He doesn't even need to beg. Anya fam is pregnant. At most, she'll get a suspended sentence. Just as I predicted, Victor Trio's great sacrifice moved Anya fam even more. At the trial, the couple argued over who was guilty, almost coming to blows right there. I lowered my head and covered my mouth, pretending to be holding back tears, but in reality, I was trying not to laugh. Seeing my movement, Anya fam glared at me. I calmly looked back, unafraid. The final verdict. The judge lightly tapped the table and asked indifferently, "Do both sides have anything else to say?" Anya fam looked at me with deep resentment, her voice choked. "Mina fam, you bring your own family to court against morality, against conscience. Fine. From now on, you and I are done. You walk your straight path paved with light, I walk my thorny, single-plank bridge. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other. I expect nothing more from you." I nodded. Exactly. If you'd said that earlier, I wouldn't have had to endure a stab wound. You wouldn't have to go to jail. That guy wouldn't have to go to prison. We'd all be spared hardship. Two bad people are never satisfied. My calm and composed demeanor made the couple even more furious. Anya fam even clutched her chest, trembling, pointing at me, stammering, I have nothing more to say." But with clear evidence, all excuses were meaningless. The final sentence, Victor Trio, for multiple charges, received a 3-year prison sentence. Anya fam received a 2-year suspended sentence to be dealt with after giving birth. Victor Trio's face was dark as he accepted the reality. Once in jail, his life was practically over. Behind bars, a wall already separated the past him from the future him. As for Anya fam, she quietly breathed a sigh of relief, clearly treating her pregnancy as a lucky charm. I found it a bit funny. This was clearly a matter between me and her, yet Victor Trio unintentionally got caught up, listened to Anya fam, and ruined his own life with his own hands. In the end, he was the unluckiest one. No one could go to jail in his place. The case ended. I no longer saw them. My life gradually returned to normal. I went back to work, resumed my position, and also started dating the colleague who had been pursuing me for a long time. When Victor Triou first went to jail, Anya Pham was at home, alone, tending to her pregnancy. Because she was too idle, she came to see me twice more. It was the same familiar plea. For Mom and Dad's sake, give me a place to stay. I have nowhere to live. At Victor Triou's parents' house, I have to live under their scrutiny. The feeling of being a dependent makes me wish I were dead. I just indifferently said, just focus on giving birth for now. She assured me, swearing, Mina, don't worry. After I give birth, I'll leave on my own. I looked at her through the peephole. I didn't know if she was stupid or thought I was stupid. If I really let her stay, then who would be the one to leave? I quietly returned to my room, carefully locked all the doors so the curses outside couldn't get in. Anya Pham screamed for a while. Seeing I didn't reply, she left in a huff. Eventually, she gave up. I held the TV station's phone number, hesitating many times, but ultimately didn't call. I didn't expose her, didn't let her lose all her dignity, considering it a final act of humanity for Mom and Dad. Anya Pham also kept her word. After being rejected by me twice, she never looked for me again. Perhaps she had simply disappeared from my world on her own. Later, I heard that Anya Pham gave birth to a son. Victor Triou, hearing the news from prison, was overjoyed, like he'd gone mad. But not long after, he couldn't smile anymore because his parents had secretly done a DNA test. The result, the baby was not Victor Triou's son. As soon as she found out, Anya Pham panicked. Without saying goodbye to anyone, she took her child and fled alone, disappearing from this world. When I heard this news, I was already married. She had helped so many people in her life, yet ended up with such a fate. I bit into a strawberry my husband had just given me, my eyes glancing at his profile. The man in front of me. Could he treat me well for a lifetime? Could he never betray me? I didn't dare to think that far ahead. As if sensing my gaze, my husband's eyes sparkled as he stared at me. Honey, save the stem of the strawberry for me, okay? I want a little bit too. I was startled, then involuntarily laughed. I picked the biggest, reddest strawberry and gave it to him. What stem? You're my husband, eat the whole thing? He nestled his head into my neck like a puppy, whining, You're the best wife in the world, honey. I'll love you my whole life. I unconsciously felt relieved. Well, just enjoy the present. The future can wait for the future.